It's midnight. You're scrolling through Zillow, and every house that isn't a literal shack starts at $500,000. The kitchen has cabinets from the 90s. The carpet is beige. The agent calls it charming. You do the math on your salary. You think, did I miss a promotion? Or did the market lose its mind? It's not you. It's the math. And the math in 2026 is brutal. I'm Joni. Today, we calculate who can actually afford a $500,000 house without turning their life into a stress test. Not who the bank approves, who can actually sleep at night after the closing. In dozens of cities, $500,000 is the basement price. It's not a mansion. It's a 1,200 square foot box. The median household income is $84,000. We are asking people to buy homes costing 6 times their income. If that ratio feels insane, good. It is. But everyone keeps telling you to just do it. Let's kill the dream of the 20% down payment first. That is $100,000 cash. The average American savings account holds $8,000. You aren't just short. You are $92,000 behind. Maybe you save 10% of your salary. It will take 12 years to save that deposit, assuming prices stay flat. So you skip to 5% down. You just unlocked PMI, private mortgage insurance. This is a fee for not being wealthy enough to buy the house in cash. Now, the mortgage. A $450,000 loan at 6.5% interest. That is $2,800 a month for principal and the interest alone. But that is just the entry fee. Let's add property taxes. $500 a month. Homeowners insurance? Thanks to climate change, add another $300 a month. Maintenance. The water heater will break at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. Budget 1% of the home value annually. That is $417 a month, plus the PMI. Your total housing cost is now $4,300 per month. Financial advisors suggest spending 28% of income on housing. To make this work, you need to earn $187,000 a year. Only 15% of households earn that much, which means 85% of you are being sold a fantasy. Let's look at the Johnson family. 2 professionals, $160,000 income. They take home $9,500 monthly. After housing, they have $5,200 left for everything else. 2 cars, student loans, gas, health insurance, groceries. They are left with $1,500 for emergencies, clothing, and life. They are spending 45% of take-home pay on the house. One medical bill destroys them. This is house poor. It feels like checking your bank account before buying a salad. It feels like praying the check engine light stays off until payday. If you earn $100,000, this isn't tight. It's a math disaster. Sellers price homes based on past sales. Banks approve based on the minimum requirements to not default immediately. No one in the transaction wants you to be comfortable. They just want the commission. Once you sign, you're trapped. You can't just move because you made a mistake. So people stay. They stay in jobs they hate to keep paying for walls they can't enjoy. The math isn't an opinion. Home prices are up 400% since 1990. Wages up 180%. The gap is where your freedom died. Society says renting is throwing money away. But is being house poor better? You're paying for a roof you can't afford to fix. You can choose not to play. That is the radical move. Save aggressively. Invest in something other than granite countertops. Wait for a correction. Look at smaller markets. There is no prize for buying a house you can't afford. The real win is margin in your budget. Real wealth is freedom. Not an asset you can't sell. The industry wants you to stretch. They profit from your stress. If you feel priced out, you aren't failing. The system failed you. A $500,000 home is not a starter house. It's a luxury item. Let's look at the regional illusion. Texas, Florida, California. Different states, same trap. In Austin, property taxes eat you alive even after the mortgage is paid. In Florida, insurance rates doubled due to storms. Your monthly payment changes every year. Banks pretend regional risk doesn't exist as long as the loan fits their computer model, and buyers walk right into it because everyone assumes real estate only goes up. But a house that drains your savings every month isn't an asset. It's an anchor. Let's talk about the psychological toll of lifestyle inflation disguised as adulthood. You get a raise. Your first instinct shouldn't be upgrading your square footage. Yet the culture tells you that bigger walls equal higher social status. It's a game of corporate keeping up with the Joneses, and the Joneses are drowning in debt. Look behind the curtain of any suburban neighborhood. Half of those cars in the driveway are leased. Half of those kitchens were remodeled with zero-interest credit cards that expire next year. They look wealthy on Instagram. They live in terror of the first of the month in real life. That is the trade-off. Public validation for private panic. Is a granite countertop really worth losing sleep over for 30 straight years? Let's run a counterfactual scenario. What if you rented and invested the difference? The traditional narrative ignores opportunity cost. The $100,000 down payment invested in index funds. Over 30 years, that compounds quietly without needing a new roof or property tax hikes. Renting gives you geographic flexibility. If a better job opens 2 states away, you pack bags, not moving trucks. A house ties you down to a collapsing local economy just to protect a piece of equity. Real estate agents hate this conversation because liquidity is the enemy of their commission. They need you to believe that renting is throwing money away so they can collect 3%. But paying interest, taxes, insurance, and maintenance is also throwing money away. The difference is the landlord handles the roof when it leaks. You handle the bankruptcy. Let's look at historical context. Your parents bought homes when price-to-income ratios were 3 to 1. Today, in 2026, we are operating at 6 to 1 or higher in every desirable metro area. Applying 1980s rules to 2026 economics is like using a map from 1950 to navigate a modern city. You aren't failing because you can't buy. You are succeeding because you refuse to crash. Let's talk about the emotional recovery from being priced out of your hometown. It hurts to watch your friends buy houses with family help while you rent an apartment. Financial envy is a trap designed to make you make desperate, emotional mistakes. The moment you stop competing with family wealth or inherited down payments, your mind clears. You start building a strategy that fits your actual income, not your social media aspirations. What does a sustainable financial life actually look like when you strip away the housing obsession? It looks like having 6 months of expenses sitting safely in a high-yield savings account. It looks like maxing out retirement accounts without skipping meals or canceling dental visits. It looks like taking a vacation without putting flights on a 22% APR credit card. That peace of mind is worth more than any granite countertop or suburban zip code. But if you still want to buy, let's look at the actual rules for doing it without self-destruction. Rule 1. Never let the bank tell you what you can afford. Their algorithm has zero empathy. Rule 2. Total housing costs must stay under 25% of your net take-home pay, not gross income. Rule 3. Keep a separate emergency fund for the house that never gets touched for vacations or cars. If a $500,000 house requires breaking all 3 rules, you aren't buying a home. You're buying stress. Let's break down what happens when people ignore these rules and push through anyway. Year 1 is manageable through sheer willpower and cutting out every small luxury. Year 2 brings inflation, higher utility bills, and property tax reassessments. Year 3 is when the first major repair hits, like a roof leak or a dead HVAC unit. Without emergency reserves, that repair becomes high-interest debt that compounds against you. By year 5, the couple who bought their dream home is arguing about money every single weekend. The asset that was supposed to secure their future has become the primary source of their daily misery. This isn't an outlier story. This is the standard trajectory of the modern house-poor household. And yet, the cultural machine keeps grinding, telling everyone that ownership at any cost is mandatory. Why? Because an entire multi-billion-dollar ecosystem depends on your participation. They don't care if you default in year 7. They already got their fees at the closing table. Recognizing this dynamic is the ultimate form of financial self-defense. You don't owe society a mortgage payment that ruins your mental health. You don't have to prove your adulthood by signing away your financial margin to a lender. Let's look at what happens when you deliberately step off this treadmill. Your savings rate jumps. Your anxiety drops. Your relationship with money transforms. You realize that wealth isn't about square footage you don't use and rooms you can't furnish. True wealth is optionality. It's the freedom to walk away from a toxic job because you have cash buffer. It's the ability to sleep soundly when economic headlines turn dark and unpredictable. No piece of real estate can provide that kind of psychological security if it drains your last dollar. So let's review the brutal truth about the 2026 housing market one final time. A $500,000 house on an $84,000 median income is a mathematical impossibility. Stretching to make it work is a high-stakes gamble with your peace of mind and future security. The banks are protected by your collateral, the agents are protected by their commission, but you are exposed. Accepting this reality isn't pessimistic. It's the foundation of smart, resilient financial planning. Maybe you wait for structural shifts in the economy. Maybe you relocate to a sustainable market. Or maybe you decide that renting for the next few years is your smartest strategic advantage. Whatever you choose, make sure the decision comes from your actual spreadsheet, not social pressure. Because at the end of the day, your life belongs to you, not to the mortgage lender holding your note. Run your real numbers. Factor in every hidden cost. Be ruthless with your budget. And if the math doesn't work out, walk away with your head held high and your wallet intact. There is no prize for buying a house that turns your life into a financial survival challenge. The real win is keeping your sanity, your savings, and your freedom in a broken market. Stop looking at what you qualify for and start looking at what you can genuinely afford. The housing market will keep pretending these prices make sense. Banks will keep approving bad loans. But you don't have to participate in collective financial insanity just because everyone else is doing it. Sometimes the smartest move in a rigged game is recognizing the rules are broken and simply choosing not to play.